Unfortunately, there are a lot of low vibrational Muslims. And you might have met someone that's really religious, but they feel really heavy. Or every single time that they open their mouth, rather than talking about mercy and love and compassion, it's fear and threats and haram this and hell that. They don't lift you up, but rather they make you feel smaller. Now, what that is actually seen as is being sort of in a low vibrational state. And you might understand that, but I'm gonna show you some neuroscience to back that up, and also some spiritual teachings in Islam which will blow your mind. So you have someone like Dr. R. Hawkins, who's a psychiatrist, and he's also a researcher into consciousness. And he spent over 20 years to test sort of the energetic impacts of emotions. And he's done a test with more than 250,000 people. And he was able to test sort of their beliefs using sort of muscle testing and heart to brain resonance and neurological response. And what he did is he built this map of consciousness, which again will blow your mind because that corresponds exactly to what spiritual teachers in Islam were talking about. So what he did is that he had this map of consciousness from a scale of 0 to 1,000. And he found that every single emotion has a frequency. So every state has a measurable impact on your mental health, on your ability to view others, your awareness, and your spiritual clarity. So what he did is that the lower levels, or the lower levels in this case, is the ones that are shame, guilt, fear, and anger, right? And that is also what is fascinating, is how you perceive Allah determines also how your nervous system perceives Allah, or rather say that how your subconscious mind perceives Allah also determines at which station you're at. So for example, fear, when you're operating on the lower vibrational state, you are constantly, which I did a lot. So I'm not like putting people down here. I was operating a lot in that due to trauma, which is, constantly think Allah is punishing, where you're operating in that lower vibrational state. Whereas perhaps anger, then Allah is vengeful, right? But then what's fascinating is, according to his research, is when you actually start to elevate spiritually, when you move up to say acceptance or love or peace or enlightenment, that also changes how you view Allah. So when you view Allah as loving, your nervous system understand Allah as loving. Well, at that particular point, you also move in that loving state. And Allah is, when you stay in that state of say enlightenment, well, God is everything. There is nothing that exists but Allah, as the spiritual teachers would say, La mawjood illallah. Now, what's fascinating in Islam, bear with me, hold on, don't lose your focus, please. So, in spiritual teachings in Islam, for over 1,000 years, it was taught that there are different maqamat, right? There are stations of the heart. And so the early stations, which is sort of tawbah, which is lifting you from shame and guilt. And then you have khawf, which is fear of hell,